It's Mauricio Mejia live on YouTube.
All right. And we are back. Mauricio Mejia live inside of Studio B here in downtown San Jose, the heart of Silicon Valley. And, you know, I always like to bring some special guests, someone that just is going to give us some inspiration, some of that hard work ethic, what it takes to be an entrepreneur. And today, we get to bring on a very special guest, a local here in downtown San Jose. Jeronica, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much.
The founder and creator of the world famous, we're gonna say world famous now, Nirvana Soul.
Okay, claim that for me.
We're claiming it to the universe. You started with one, and now you got 5 and growing.
Yes.
And right before our little technical difficulties back here. And by the way, she decided she's not wearing her headset today because she can't mess up the do. And I said, hey, I gotta respect that. I gotta respect that. You can't mess up the flavor. So today, you're not only the first guest that we've had for a coffee shop.
Exciting.
That is just a whole different world that I definitely want to dive into and learn about what it takes to do that. But you're the first person with no headset either. So we're breaking a lot of rules here today. Barriers. Anyhow, no, I want to welcome you and say thank you very much. I know you got a busy schedule, and this is one of those things I go to. I love your coffee shop. It's right down the street from the studio.
Yeah, thank you.
I love my double espressos. I love the vegan blueberry muffin because it feels light, right? And at least I feel like I'm not cheating so badly, right?
Yeah.
Even though there's no calorie counts in it, I'm like, it's all right. We're good. But share with us your journey because we're talking backstage, and you started in 2020. For those of you that may have not been around, I'm sure everybody, COVID?
Yeah, it was COVID.
So, even before that, let's go a little bit back. Born and raised?
Yeah.
Give us a little history. Yeah.
So I'm from San Jose.
Okay.
And so I'll give you the backstory of like coffee. So so my journey actually starts with my great grandma who raised us. My mom was a single parent, so we spent a lot of time with our great grandmother. And one of the things that she did in the morning was give us coffee.
Uh-oh.
So I just thought
wake
that
you guys up quick, like, hey, wake up.
Well, it's because I was, just recently, it kind of dawned on me, like, you know how like in England they drink tea, it's like so like such normalized there. In our house it was coffee, so I didn't even realize that it was like kind of taboo until like I got older. And so we joke about it now, but it wasn't like I'm going to the coffee pot and I'm getting a full cup of Joe. It was like my grandma would give us the last bit of her like Folgers coffee. And I just love that time because I think back to my great grandmother who just died short of 101.
Wow.
Yeah, she was the first person that kind of showed us what community looked like. We're sitting at a table together, me and my siblings, we're having breakfast and coffee, and I love that. And so that love for coffee just never went away. And then one of my first jobs was like in coffee. So I worked at Pete's Coffee and Tea in Willow Glen. It's not even called Pete's Coffee and Tea anymore, but it was back then.
Okay.
And I just went on this journey of just like diving deep into just like learning everything I could learn.
That's right.
And hopping in and out of coffee, of course, my background, and I went to college too, we were talking about earlier. So my background's in psychology.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Psychology.
Yeah, people always do that. But
okay. we want to mess with your mind, but now we're just going to get you caffeinated and get you another way.
Yeah, good conversation though. Yeah. And I got back in coffee because one of my friends had reached out to me saying that they needed a manager at their coffee shop and I should apply. And so I kind of got back into it that way. And once I became a manager, I was just like, let me really learn everything. And so I had been in coffee for 18 years before we opened up Nirvana Soul. On and off, mostly on though. And it wasn't me just like, I'm going to do this. It was like me talking to my sister about it and her not being in coffee at all. Like we're so opposite. We're 11 months apart, but we're so opposite. And she was just like, I'm going to like help you, you know? And so.
Was she focused on something else?
Oh yeah. She's still to this day. She has a full-time job. She runs our social media.
Okay.
And so
So she didn't jump off the cliff with you, just you.
She couldn't. We was like, we don't know what's going to happen. So
Gotcha.
she definitely has been the anchor in all of this. She is like the better part of me for sure. So she put her house up for collateral.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she
really believes in you.
She really believes in me.
Yeah.
Yeah, she we had a pitch party with our friends and our family so we could raise money. So we did like a big PowerPoint presentation, and we just told them like, you know, our intentions and to raise money from there was our savings. And then eventually an SBA loan.
Wow.
And so, yeah, she still works full time, but she was like, yeah, she's my business partner. So a lot of people get to like see me and know me in person. She's more behind the scenes. She pops up like every once in a while, but you always talking to her online.
Gotcha.
So you're on social media, you're always talking to her. Yeah.
Got you. All right. Well, I mean, interesting, right? So, I mean, you're the roots, great-grandmother.
Great-grandmother.
Nirvana Soul, how did the name come about?
Yeah,
there's got to be some tie. That's the big question here. Nirvana Soul, I mean.
Yeah, Nirvana means paradise. It's like oneness, closeness to God, and I wanted a place that would bring people together. And so I never loved the name Paradise. I was just like, I need something a little bit more vibey, and I don't want to date myself, but I'm going to. So another the thesaurus.
Yeah.
This was the other term that had popped up, and it just sounded right. So I've had this name 10 years prior to us opening up a shop.
Wow.
And it was
So you were manifesting.
Oh, definitely.
You were
I was
way back.
manifesting so much. Let me tell you the story real quick. I was driving Lyft. I had business cards made that said Nirvana Soul on it. Wait, before I get to that, the back part is the soul was because I'm just a soulful person. So I put the two together.
I got you.
Yeah, but
we got some soul in the house today right now.
For sure. But I used to drive Lyft as one of my jobs. So I worked full time in coffee because I always worked in coffee, and I drove Lyft on the side. And we had business cards made up. We didn't have a business. We didn't have a coffee shop yet. And so I'm like passing these cards out to people, and in the back of the car, it says like free drink. So I would tell all my like clients I'm driving around, hey, one day I'm gonna open a coffee shop, save this card, bring it in. And they're like, okay, like where's the address? Where is it? I'm like, I don't have an address
it's
right
coming
now.
Soon. It's coming soon.
No, I was doing this for like years. Like,
wow.
you know, I was like telling people about this business for like years.
Wow.
And so when we opened up, we did have a few people come in with those cards, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That you were manifesting.
Yeah, definitely.
And it just to see that come to fruition.
Yeah.
So what is it that makes you unique aside from the name and the vibe when you walk in there? I mean, I don't want to say coffee is just coffee, right? But there's got to be some special, some secret sauce to, either the roasting or the type of coffee beans. I mean,
well, I think one part is I'm in the shops. So a lot of times you don't see the owner really in the shop. But I do spend a lot of times in the shop. We do have managers in all of our shops now, but I still manage the downtown, the first store.
Okay.
And then we also just dive deep with the community. And we have artwork that's in our shops, and that gives people an opportunity to be seen. And our menu is super like eclectic. So we have a lot of the traditional things that you'll see at other shops, and then we have so much fun with flavoring. And we give the baristas opportunity to make something, and we just have fun with it, and so I think that's what keeps people coming back, because you don't know, like you don't expect it, or people be like, I don't like coffee, but it's just like, let me make it a way that you probably will like it, and then they love it. And so I think just
that and being health conscious, because I see all the sweets in there, all that.
Oh, you ain't coming to Nirvana Soul now if you're trying to be healthy.
Yeah, well, that's why I do the vegan one, guys. Just for the record, all right. And my nutrition coach being saying, what we caught you? No. I'm doing the vegan. And it's blueberries. So
there you go.
But no, you guys are very conscious of. of the product, the quality, and so forth. And then not just that, but the vibe. You're right. I mean, you walk in there, it's got a dope vibe in there. I've only been to two of them, the one downtown and then the one next in the De Anza Hotel. But you have 5 locations now.
We do.
So let's go back to the story because we did mention earlier, you started right at the beginning of COVID.
Yeah,
2020.
September 2020.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, we did.
We were right in the thick of it then.
We were. So funny enough, I want to say like what was shelter in place was like in March.
March 3rd, March 16th for the Santa Clara County was the first county. I'll never forget the date. March 16th was a Monday. Santa Clara County goes shelter in place. First county in the United States to go shelter in place.
Yeah, it was wild. So I had left my job. I was working at LinkedIn and we had got our loan. And so it was like, I want to say 1 week before shelter in place. And so like, I remember my boss saying, you know what's going on. Like, and I'm just like, okay, like I got my money for the shot. Like it's game time. We have to just
you
go.
You got to start paying that money back.
Yeah, like I wasn't, and also we didn't know when shelter in place started.
Yeah.
Like we thought we were just gonna be home for like a couple of days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
actually, a couple of days. I said 30 days. I was like,
you said 30 days.
I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm thinking just like a couple of days.
I was like, this has got to stop. This is crazy. And I'm like, after my the third day, I was like, this is when I'm like, wait, this is serious. Like this is not gonna happen. There's not gonna go over anytime soon.
Yeah, but we were like still working on the shop like the entire time. We're still working on the shop. I had told you earlier, I was like, me and my sister are more like naive. Like we didn't come from like a family that had money and just like businesses. So we're like, this is our shop. We just have to make it work. And if we just like help just a couple people, then it's like at least we tried, you know, like I achieved my dream at least, you know, like I felt like I didn't want to live my life saying like shoulda, coulda, woulda, like with this, you
That's
know.
deep.
Yeah.
Right there. Hey, you jumped off the cliff.
Yeah, I jumped off the cliff.
Yeah, you
know?
definitely jumped off the cliff. You're like, we ain't going down like this.
No, for sure. So we're like, we just gotta just do it, you know, and I'm so thankful that we did. Like one of the best decisions that like I've ever made, for sure.
I love how you said we just have to do it. Some people try, and some people just do it.
Yeah,
and there's a big difference. You know, I've had this discussion in the past of trying versus doing. Trying is you're gonna give it an effort. When you're doing it, you're actually in it to win it.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
You were in it to win it.
I was in it to win it.
Yeah, and some people would think that how crazy it would be to start a business, but I shared with you. For me, COVID was like it was a game changer for me. Not only did I come from losing 2 major business like 2019 had a big falling out, had a $100 million company.
That's crazy.
2020, we had filed our SEC forms to go $1 billion status, public company, Silicon Valley, blah, blah, blah. And then COVID. So what I did was I pivoted and I started a COVID cleanup company.
Smart.
Genius, right? I had to make with what I had. 5 years later, company's growing. I mean, now we're going to be participating on it's an unfortunate situation, but the LA fires.
Yeah.
We're going to be sending out, we're between 300 to 400 people that are going to be going down there to work. And we're going to help rebuild LA.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the important thing when you have that entrepreneurial heart to you're not just caught up in what you're doing at that moment. You're thinking like, what is next? Like, what can I be doing? And you and I talked about this at the shop the other day. I was like, man, I just wish you had unlimited money because you're just like, I want to do this. I want to do that.
Yeah.
Even though it's just like, there's not that many hours in the day, but you're just like, man, if I could do this, and I feel like this will help somebody else, you know, and it's just like, our minds are always going like, what can we do?
That's part of the soul, right?
Definitely,
and
yeah.
Our businesses have souls, and we hope that as we grow, that we can continue to keep the soul within the business.
Yeah.
Right now, you're growing. You're going to hit a point where you're going to scale, and you can't be at every place.
Yeah.
You will attempt to be there, and eventually, but that's part of the business. That's part of the journey. I always tell people, I said, there's got to be an exit strategy. You can't get stuck. If Nirvana Soul, somebody comes up, if a big coffee company says, hey, I want to write you a check for 150 million, 200 million, I hope that the decision you make is to sell. If you don't, I need to be a part of your advisory team here.
We do talk about that all the time. So
because don't fall in love. I have a saying. It's kind of brutal, but don't fall in love with an animal that one day you might have to kill.
Yeah,
you know,
I like that.
or eat. You know,
Yeah.
that's just a brutal. That's being brutal in business, right?
Yeah.
Some people, and I hope none of the PETA people come after me now. 'Cause I'm just. It's being an entrepreneur requires you to have just a different mindset.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you jumped off. I say the joke jumped off the cliff because that's what it feels like. You don't know where you're going to land. You just jumped.
Definitely.
And that's a big risk, and that's something that not a lot of people have the guts to do. Coffee business is a competitive business.
It is.
Your boutique, bougie. I love it. And when you're competing against some of these monsters like the Pete's and the Starbucks, you know, I mean, they have the backing because it's a different version.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you can't be there. I mean, there's plenty of stories where, like Chipotle, it's a perfect example. Chipotle got bought out by McDonald's.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know that, but all of a sudden you get funding like that, and then you become, and that's where sometimes the brands lose their soul.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with that.
Once they go there, and then it's all about the shareholders and making sure that the bottom line pays the bills.
Yeah.
You know, but that's down the road. Again, you know, your journey has been an interesting one. So store number 1, and how do you pop off on store number 2, 3, and 4, and 5? And now you're in San Francisco too. So
yeah, so shop number 1 is the shop that we wanted. That was I think that's only been the shop that we like, we want to be in this location and this is it. So a customer had kind of told us about shop number 2, and that's literally what's been happening since then. It's like people reaching out to us, I have this location, when you guys look at it, I think you guys would be perfect here. And then we could look at it and then we're like, okay, we'll make it work. We'll make it work.
As long as the numbers make sense.
Yeah. And so certain time, like Cupertino. So Cupertino was the second shop, but before Cupertino,
Cupertino, by the way, is home to Apple computers, guys. So it's not just like Cupertino. Like you guys are like, what's Cupertino? Cupertino is where Apple is headquarters. There's a bunch of big high tech companies near Cupertino. So
for
you didn't just go into some small town here. So we got to remind people, Silicon Valley.
Yes,
Cupertino. Cupertino, home of Apple.
Yeah, that's true.
I gave you that one, so next time
you did.
Like,
right?
you know, Nirvana.
No, I already knew. So we were like, we want to be in an area that will like just bring people together because that is our whole motto. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you don't see a lot of Black-owned businesses in nicer neighborhoods. And you know what I'm saying? And so
we're going deep now.
Yeah, definitely. And so
we're breaking barriers now, guys. We're about to break. We're African American women.
Yes.
Own business.
Definitely.
Even that, let's make it even harder. You know.
But we're like, why not us? You know what I'm saying? Because there is Black people everywhere, like, and so everyone deserves to like go to a nice place and someone that looks like me. You know, so
beautiful, smart. Come on now.
I appreciate that.
Risk taker. You know. Hey.
So we definitely we're like Cupertino will be we're taking a chance, but before that our customers had like gave us the idea to roast, and I'm not a roaster. I was a barista manager, you know.
You're an executor.
Yeah, exactly.
Executor.
So like we got a roastery. We were super blessed how everything kind of just plays out the way it's supposed to play out. Like you said earlier, everything happens for a reason.
That's right.
The Loring, which is our roasting machine, was like on hold, like you couldn't even get it, and it was a ridiculous price. And then all of a sudden, one of the buyers had pulled out, and we were able to get that roaster. And also, our head roaster came over to our company and was like, "Hey, I want to like work with you guys," and just took off. Totally took over that whole situation for us, and I'm like, legit, thank God that they did.
Yeah.
And then, so from there's Cupertino came. And so, yeah, we just were like, we're just going to do it. I think going from shop 1 to shop 2 was the hardest for sure. You know, like.
Yeah, that's you're now getting into a Store number one is store number one.
Yeah.
You're going to make all your mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And then on store number two, you don't want to repeat the mistakes that you made on store number one.
Oh, man, I made so many mistakes. Yeah, for sure. Store number two was very hard for me. Like, I think we, downtown would kind of fall apart. And I think it's because I was with them all the time. They were, the only ones. I always say now, it's like when you have a kid and then you have a new baby, and then it's like, what about me, you know? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of lessons that I had to learn. I had to make a lot of mistakes. And I went through all of that, and we had to rebuild, and we did. And shop number 3 was
easier.
It was easier.
Yeah.
It did get easier, for sure. So we do a lot of work with San Jose State. We always had. My brother-in-law, who's also our CFO, Dap, he went there. And so they came and asked us about that, and that's how that opportunity happened.
That's right. You guys are in San Jose State.
We are.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shop. And funny story, my boss that was at LinkedIn, she now works for us. So she's the manager. She's the manager at San Jose State. Yeah. Amazing.
So you're not get to boss her around, you know?
She still be bossing me around. No, I love her. She's such a good person, and she was perfect for that location for sure. And then kind of the same thing happened at Hotel De Anza, and then the same thing happened in San Francisco. So San Francisco was just so smooth, for me, you know what I'm saying? If you ask probably my brother-in-law or my sister Bianca, they might say different things, but I just felt so at peace opening up this shop. The manager that had worked with us for 6 months, at our downtown shop with me, and she's just a rock star. So I just had such peace. We decorated. This was the first shop I decorated by myself without my sister. Usually she's the eyes and likes to, put things where they should be. And I just took on that task. And I think I needed to take on that task, just to kind of as a reminder, one, how blessed we are, and the impact that this is going to make for the community, and re-spark that spark. It wasn't out, but you know what I'm saying? Just kind of
5 years, actually less than 5 years.
Yeah, less than 5 years.
You've grown to 5 shops.
Yes.
Mind you that the first 2.5 years we're in COVID. We're in all kinds of craziness is happening.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I hope you look back and you really understand, one, how blessed you are.
Yeah, definitely.
2, that your perseverance and your goal for success is unstoppable. It's unbreakable.
Yeah.
Because for you to get to where you're at, it's tough because there's no manual, right? We've never gone through something like this. We've gone through other versions of distractions in life.
Yeah, for sure.
But this was one of those unique ones where the human behavior was actually changed.
For sure.
From all of this, and we've learned a lot, and we've also adapted to different versions of life, I guess now. But man, I gotta really say that's some bomb ass real just. And you're about to exponentially grow, because in the next 5 years, imagine what you did in less than 5, what you can do in the next 5.
Yeah, for sure.
You're looking at, if you want to, you can be up to 25 shops. I don't know how many.
Ooh, from your lips to God's ears. Yeah, we set a goal of 20 shops, but obviously you want more. It's whatever you could do. But me and my sister made a decision early on. It was really her. She's a pusher, but in a good way. She's if we're gonna do this, it's gonna be 20 shops. For me, I was more small time.
So you gotta keep putting that house back up. Better keep pulling from that house.
I was one little cute coffee shop, and then she was no, we're gonna really invest in this. We're gonna do 20 shops, and I'm so glad that she's kind of was the person, the muscle that was pushing that, and her husband too. So Dad came on to the business. His background was financing. We would ask him a million questions, and finally he was fine, I'm just going to get on the train with you guys. So he is in charge of the grocery wholesale, and so we all have our different parts. You know what I'm saying? I'm operations, and Bianca's marketing. So it's our best traits,
right?
And everyone's just laser focus on their task, and then we kind of just
there's a saying that we say in business. Actually, a good friend of mine, he introduced me to the saying. He goes, we work on our strengths and hire our weakness.
Yeah, I like that.
So, and by the way, I think Nirvana Soul belongs in Oakland. and I'm going to tell you why. So I'm working on the Oakland Coliseum project. I'm working with the team. There's
Okay,
the,
put us in there.
Yeah, no, it's the African American Sports and Entertainment Group, all led by top African American. There's males, but there's a few females that are obviously in there. But it's driven by this group that's really they're from Oakland. They're embracing it. Ray Bobbitt, who's, by the way, he's the principal, good friend of mine for 30 plus years. And the vision, when I automatically think Nirvana Soul, Oakland. You need to be in Oakland. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna be a shareholder in that one. So.
Okay, so we honestly, people say it all the time, like when we're like, oh, the next shop is gonna be, everyone's like Oakland for sure.
Yeah.
And I just think that with everything that was going on at that time, we're just like, we can't go to Oakland, But I'm like,
it's coming.
It's coming for sure.
Coming.
Like there's like Nirvana
2026.
Soul.
I'm gonna throw it out there. 2026, guys.
Nirvana Soul will be in Oakland for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be.
Yeah. It's just like where, you know what I'm saying? And
we'll find a place.
Okay, you find the place for us. You let me know. You let us know.
You'll be part of the development. I'm bringing the first bougie coffee shop. I'm telling you, women owned, African American women owned. Oh,
yeah. You find it and you let us know.
Yeah. No, I think definitely that. Again, you can't go wrong with coffee, and just the vibes that you're bringing, and that you continue the vision though too.
Yeah,
and it takes a lot. Tell me, what inspires you? What gets you? What gets you up in the morning aside from you have to get your ass up to go open up the shop?
I gotta go clock in.
Logistics, and then I mean, just what's the fire? I mean, aside, and then I can probably think grandma inspired. There's got to be something that's firing you.
It is. So this year, I just feel really good. I feel like I'm constantly being inspired by the community.
Let's talk about that community, because you said that a couple of times already.
Yeah.
So let's dive into the word community, because community can mean so many different things.
It could. I'm talking about legit the people as a whole. I think one, really taking it to heart that like people don't really get to see people that look like me doing what I'm doing. And so it's that responsibility that I have, the hope for them, which I didn't grow up seeing that. So it's like being the first or the only, sometimes it is hard, but it's just like, now you see me and now it's like, oh, I could do it too. And whatever that is, like whatever you want to do is definitely a possibility, because you see someone else that looks like you doing it. And that is super inspiring. And so I think when I'm like talking to customers or to like the artists or the vendors or even our staff, like they're so talented, such good kids. And we cut up with each other, and it's like we laugh with each other, and it's just like I love getting excited off of the things that like that matter to them, getting their first apartment or whatever, and it's just like, okay, like we're working hard, and like this is what's coming. So I just been feeling like super blessed, and I just have good friends. I read a lot. Okay. So I think that those are the things that like inspire me, is like keep going so that the person behind me can have an easier way than like,
or just have a way.
Yeah, have
because
a way. But they can
nothing,
call me and I'm gonna tell them like what it is, And so me doing some of the work or the things that we've gone through, maybe they don't have to go through some of the things, because a lot of people, like you said earlier, they just don't know where to start or who to talk to or how to go about certain situations. And they can call us because there's enough chairs at the table for everybody. So, like if I don't know, let's try to figure out someone else that does know, or,
well, yeah, I mean, it just, at the end of the day, it goes, I have a saying, it's how bad do you want it?
Yeah, definitely.
How bad do you really want it? And what's your work ethic going to be like? Everyone, I always tell people, and I even have to remind myself sometimes when I'm just like flat, because there's moments, hey, we're human too. There's moments where I'm just flat and I have no motivation to get up, nothing, I'm just in my thoughts.
It's normal, yeah.
But I know that I have to spark and get up and go, because I have a responsibility, right? Because how bad do I want it? And it can be certain levels of or pinnacles that I want to be at in my life, you know? So that's part of my driving force. And aside from that is my purpose too, right? And purpose can be community. For us it's when I can resonate with what you're saying because one, Latino, born and it's crazy, born in San Francisco, raised in Los Angeles, but educated in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
So I always tell people I got the best of all three worlds because born in a world-class city, raised in a world-class city, and educated in a world-class area. So I have a little bit of all of those, and I put that all together, and I create this magic. And it also inspires the fact that there's people like me. They, like you said, they can look at us, other Latinos or other people. And, you know, for me, I grew up in an environment where the saying was, the radio stations used to say, and I think there was a station up here, but no color lines. Yeah. Right. So for me, it didn't matter whether you were gay, straight, black, white, Asian, purple, yellow, whatever color, it didn't matter.
I love that. Because
at the end of the day, one of the things that we learned as kids, right? Because we were growing up in the kids, and you know, people would instead of creating division, they wanted to bring us together, right? Growing up in the hood in LA, Highland Park, we got Highland Park that's all Latinos, Boyle Heights, Lincoln Heights, and then you got South Central LA, Compton, Inglewood.
Yeah,
We had to unite. So, and one of the examples said, "Son, cut your hand. If we cut both of our fingers, you know, we're both gonna bleed red because that's just we're humans."
Yeah.
So that for me is when I say I want to give back to community, I want to give back to everybody. I want to inspire everybody, you know. But it is cool to feel like, all right, hey, you know, like I got coined one of our shows that had a Shanberry from 106.5. She was in here. She was doing her show. And she said, "Mauricio, you're like the Latin Joe Rogan." I was like, "I'll take that one anytime. I'll take that compliment anytime." The Latino version of it.
Yeah.
And that's really what inspires me as well to continue and building and creating this platform so that we can showcase other great entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm excited. One, that you're here sharing your story, and then being able to inspire others to say, "Hey, if you can do it, if I could do it, so can anybody else." It's just, you know, it's just doing it.
It's just doing it. And a lot of times it's like, I think the thing that stops people is like fear. But I tell people like,
wow. All right.
You know, people ask me this all the time. The fear doesn't go away though. You just gotta just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it doesn't, like when I wake up in the morning and you don't know what's gonna go on at the shop and opening up another shop, how that's going to go. And it's just like, but you just gotta do it.
Fear will cripple anybody.
Yeah.
If you fall prey to fear, game over.
Yeah.
There's moments. I mean, when I built one of my biggest companies in 2019, we hit 100 million. Our payroll alone was $1 million a month.
That's wild.
That's $250,000 a week in just payroll. I mean, that's bananas. And that's for my. I mean, I can imagine some of these bigger juggernaut companies.
Yeah.
But there was moments where clients slow pay, and you're like, "What do you mean slow? What do you mean slow pay?" Like, no, we need to and then that's part of the growth process, right? Because then once you're put into those kind of, when your back is put against the wall, that's when you have to become resourceful. And I can't even imagine what it's like. You know, I mean, like we were talking about before we started the show, we talked about logistics. Yeah. The waffle person didn't have the waffle batter ready. And because we want to have things done the right way, little things like that can irk us.
Yeah.
You know, again, we can't be afraid of that, right? We have to make a decision, we have to pivot and keep going.
You do.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. As I said earlier, you know what I'm saying? Like, ultimately, it's just like my communication has to be like on point. Like, what are my expectations so that things could be a little bit more streamlined? And so a lot of times, which I've had to like learn, especially in the past couple of years, like, I don't blame anybody. I have to look at myself first. You know what I'm saying? So if anything happens,
I love you. Seriously, you know, I'm talking to myself right here. I'm talking to like, I'm looking at myself right now in the mirror. I'm like, damn, I'm same way.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Self-accountability starts with us. And at the end of the day, we're only as good as our team.
Yeah.
But who's leading the team?
Who's leading the team?
So at the end of the day, if you have a bad team, it's because we're just not leading properly.
Yeah.
I've looked back and I look at some of the teams that I've been a part of and that I built, and I'm like, what could I have done better? Mm-hmm. Better communication. Yeah. Better direction. I mean, there's so many things that we can go down the list. Is at the end of the day, it's you. Yeah. Boom. It's you. Put that mirror in your face and just be like, all right, dude, where are we at?
And that's not always easy. You know what I'm saying? Because no one likes to be like, oh, I messed up, you know? And I had like, especially like the last year, a lot of the things like, oh, it's me, I'm messing up. Yeah. And it's just like, if we want to grow, then it's like, Jeronica, like, look in the mirror, just do the work. That's and right. People are counting on you. So it's just like, I have to make sure that I'm doing the things I need to do. And then also just speaking up, like being okay saying I don't have all the answers. And just because I'm the captain of this ship doesn't mean that I know everything. And so I think just being honest and like waving my flag, hey, team, I need help, you know? So
you say waving the flag, I say I raise my hand. Yeah. I'm like, you gotta because they teach us that we're in elementary, like raise your hand.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, the person that doesn't ask doesn't get fed.
100%. We have a really hard time of being vulnerable. You know, I think that the society that we're in right now, like no one wants to feel like they don't know anything and, you know, they want people to see them in a certain light. And it's just like, we're human.
Everyone wants to see the highlights, right?
Yeah, or exactly. On the good days. Yeah, only the good days, you know?
Everyone, well, and we got to blame social media for that.
Oh, definitely. I do all the time.
Social media has created a monster within all of us.
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes I catch myself where I'm like, boom, 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 highlight.
Yeah.
But I'm like, and every once in a while, the craziest part is that once you show the vulnerable, your likes and everything goes like through the roof. You're like, well, shit, I don't want to talk about my bad stuff all the time, you know, because then then it might even go backwards. But it's because it's relatable.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? I mean, we as business entrepreneurs, we go through shit.
Yeah.
And we have to power through it. And nobody gets to see it. The only thing that people get to see is the end result.
Oh, definitely.
So
yeah. I mean, it's funny that I think about like right before we opened up MLK, I had surgery. I had like a major surgery. And so I was only off for like maybe 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then like I came back and then I just went to work. And it's just like...
yeah, nonstop.
Yeah, it's nonstop. Like you got to go. And then just like people are like, oh, you need to like slow down. I do. But at the end of the day, like I'm the captain of the ship. So if we want to grow, people are like relying on me. But also realizing that it's okay to have self-care. It's okay to take care of yourself too. But it's kind of just like you have to like lean in. One of my baristas the other day had said, and it's kind of like my motto for this year, is clock in and lock in.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so she said that, and I was just like, wait, I love that. You know what I'm saying?
Clock in and lock in.
Yeah, and so she says it when she comes inside the shop now, and I'm just like, this is so good.
That's a great little just Kickstarter, even for like for the team.
Yeah, for the team, but for like personal, for anything like that. I was just like, this makes so much sense. You know what I'm saying? And so these are the type of people that I want to be working around that just get it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and they're self-starters. I mean, I remember when I was in the business, in the nightclub business, the minute I walked in the door, I mean, literally, the minute I walked into the door, it was like showtime. Yeah. Like, because that's, and it was like, I felt that the minute I walked in the door, I was in character now.
Oh, definitely.
Because now I had that swag that just like, like, all right, we're shot calling now.
Yeah, yeah.
And everybody's watching.
Yeah.
So when everybody's watching, you got to be...
Yeah.
You got to be on your P's and Q's.
Definitely. You know, so. You have to, because it's just like we always say, like, we're around a lot of great coffee shops already, you know, and I always say coffee is a drug. You're going to go to your pusher, wherever, you know, whoever is that person, that's where you're going to go. So, yeah.
That's why I just like it straight black. I like, hey, there's no, this is probably my, yeah, this is my second, third cup of coffee already. I'm like,
hey, I ain't judging you. Like I said, like you gonna go where you gonna
go. I'm like, you know, and there's some great coffees out here. But again, when I need that quick fix, I'm like, hey, let me go get a double espresso really quick.
You do.
I come back and within like 15 minutes, all of a sudden my eyes are like, I can feel my eyelids. I'm like, all right, it's on. Let's go get to work.
That's so funny. That's so funny. I love that.
You mentioned books or reading. What's your favorite book? What are you reading right now?
So
I'm a
right
big
now-
reader. I'm a big reader.
Okay, so right now I'm reading a fiction book. So I was reading one with my best friend, but I listen to a lot of sports documentaries, like coaches. Like so,
Okay.
yeah. Like I just read. What's the coach from? Is it Duke?
I don't know.
Okay, you're like I don't know stories.
Yeah, I'm gonna recommend one. If you want to listen to a book,
Okay,
or
tell
you
me.
want to go on YouTube, look up Tim Grover.
Okay.
Tim Grover is, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna send one to you.
Yeah.
Tim Grover is the shit. He trained Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
His mindset will resonate with your mindset because he's a coach of coaches.
Okay.
And because he had the experience of coaching two of the greatest basketball players that have lived,
Yeah.
you can imagine what that mindset is like.
Oh, I could.
Yeah.
I know I would love it
and then
already.
and then the way he delivers his voice, he's just doom 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 doom, and that's the way it seems like you have to be.
Yeah.
Aside from reading, you're gonna have to read Smoke and Mirrors or the books I gave you. So,
Okay.
yeah, hey, I'll tell you.
I will read the books that you gave me
I
next.
tell you, it'll give you it'll just give you a different perspective of things. Just because, hey, life in the fast lane was life in the fast lane.
I already know. But yeah, I do like reading a lot of books that are just like people, like their
Yeah.
opinions, business, like.
Yeah,
But coaches are like my favorite, like leading the team.
yeah.
There's just I always get something out of that. So
Well, you're getting ready to lead a big team.
Yeah.
You're practicing.
Yeah.
Right now for what's coming ahead.
well, I hope so.
And it's no, it's coming. I mean, it's again, you don't sound at any point here. Do you sound like you're running out of gas? As a matter of fact, it feels like you're throttling up.
Yeah.
And the other part is, just making sure that you have that support system. And right now, it looks like you have that support system.
Yeah, definitely.
Just remember, though, when you grow, the team has to grow too.
Yeah.
Because you create different layers, right? And then you become, not only are you're regional, then imagine you become statewide, and then you become nationwide. That's deep, and that's big.
It is.
So and that just my hand started itching. I mean, money's coming. I'm part of the Oakland one though.
Okay, you let me know.
What else? What else do you think has been a contributor to your success? Because I know you. Right now, we've pretty much talked a lot of the good stuff, but what has been some of the challenges that you've experienced? I mean,
Yeah.
you said the second one was hard. The second store was hard, but as a whole, what has been some of the challenges?
Yeah, so to be honest with you, financial is always the biggest. Not everyone to be in that situation where like, oh, I hope we make payroll. Like everyone. Thank God we haven't, but there's been times that we've been pretty close, and it's just hard because you're just like, we work so hard. Yeah. We're at these events, we do catering, and it's just like, why isn't this enough? But everything is so expensive, and just trying to find a way.
You're literally counting pennies.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Yeah, you're. I mean, again, the business, the margins in that business. I mean, obviously, it's giving you the growth ability.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you can't even afford to have one bad week or one bad day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, because
like for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's gotta be challenging.
Yeah, it is challenging, and I think too, it's like your personal stuff too. Yeah. It's like the personal things that you have going on, where it's like other people don't see. Like that you're a person and you have like a real life, like.
Do you have a real life? You have a real life?
Not really, wow. Not much of a real life, but
you're at all the locations. I'm like, I was about to ask you. So where's the other four of you? Because
I know people always tell me that. If you're going through something, it's just kind of like you don't really get a moment to like grieve or whatever. Oof. And I feel like sometimes that's hard, and I feel like the past couple of years I've gone through like a lot of like heavy things, and it's just like balancing or navigating through that on top of, again, a lot of the strength comes from what if my barista was going through this, or, you know, a customer was going through this, how, you know, I could help them and, you know, push forward. And so it's a lot of holding your head up high. But like I said earlier, being okay saying, like, I'm not okay, and going down the avenues that you need to go to get on the other side. Because like you said, like, business is just like up and down. If it was easy,
Peaks and
everybody
valleys.
would do it, you
Peaks
know?
and valleys,
Yeah. So it's like, you can't just want to stand on the like mountaintop all the time. I think a part of the lows is kind of where you kind of grow. You need that.
You need the lows in order to grow.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Some of your best growths are in your most darkest
Oh,
moments.
100%. Yeah.
So trust me, when I'm listening to you right now, I'm like, damn, this woman must know about my. I've been going through some challenges. I had a great 2024. Got into some certain things, you know, in my personal life that took me into a different universe that I wasn't accustomed to, and I fell head over heels, and I mean, and it became something that was so great, but then turned to become one of my biggest storms that I've dealt with in a very long time. When it comes to business, I can navigate those waters like a pro.
Yeah.
When it comes to personal, I'm like, it's kind of like unknown waters for me.
Oh, okay. I could attest to that for sure.
Because it's one of those things where my focus has always been on my businesses. And I've always sacrificed my personal life.
Yeah.
To this day, I mean, I've always sacrificed it because to me, my businesses were more important than anything else because those are my babies, right? And then when you kind of shift directions and you want to kind of give something else an opportunity, it's almost like it's self-inflicted. You created this own storm, right? Because storms are coming, no matter what.
Yeah.
You're gonna have bad days and you're gonna have super great days.
Yeah.
And it's always gonna balance out. The great days are gonna help level up the bad days.
I agree with that.
And if you track business, because that's one of the things that I've done since I was young. My entrepreneurial journey started when I was 15. I can track. I've had a talent of being able to track trends. At the end of the day, it all evens out.
Yeah.
You just got to spread it out, you know, and then know that I've lost a lot of money and I've also made a lot of money. And at the end of the day, it just evens out because as long as you're consistent.
That's it. I think it's just being consistent and just, learning how to just navigate through those.
5 years later, you got 5 stores. Why? Because you've been consistent.
Yes.
The brand has been consistent. The logo's been consistent. The message has been consistent.
Yes.
The operator's been consistent. And that's what I try to tell people that are jumping into this entrepreneurial journey, that as long as you stay consistent and organized, organization, work ethic, consistency, it's all part of the ingredients is for success.
And just be okay building. I think a lot of times, especially you're talking about social media, people want instant gratification. Like they want it now. And it's just like,
how come they're not liking my coffee? What? I don't got.
You have to really just put in that time and just like keep going and just like you said, be consistent.
Be consistent. Where do you see? 20 stores, but where do you see the future of Nirvana Soul? I know we talked about it. I mean, earlier. Exit strategy. Is there one? Is there one thought of, or
there's probably one that I think of. My sister thinks of on her own. I think, like you said, if someone were to come in and just like, hey, we love
the brand.
Yeah, we love the brand,
the vibe, and all that good stuff.
I feel like that would probably be the exit strategy. But then we're like, okay, we would rest for a couple months. And then
start all over.
What's next? What's next? And I see that because I look at my brother-in-law. He does so much for us for sure, but he's such a good cook, and I feel like when I see the things that he makes and I see the things that he has, it's like how I felt, with coffee. It's like the passion that you have, and I'm just like, he should have a restaurant. He should definitely have a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, as much as we have days and we have to manage all these
Nirvana Soul Kitchen. Man.
And so and he would probably say like no now, but I don't think so. He's a workaholic. All of us are. So I feel like, you know, is
there's no work balance here. People say work balance. I'm like, what's that? I'm like, the only balance I have is when I go to sleep, and even then, my brain doesn't even stop.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But I often think when people are like, what would you do if, probably a restaurant, or or maybe helping somebody else with their their dreams and stuff. But as hard as they go for me, I'm just like, I want to go for them, and we can just take turns. Like, okay, who's next? You guys help me with Nirvana Soul. Dab, what's next for you? Bianca, what's next for you? And just like, So I don't know. I don't feel like I would be a person just sitting at home and just like doing nothing. I always kind of feel like, especially more now than ever, like, what is the next project? So, but what that will be, I don't. Maybe a restaurant, maybe
it's in God's hands.
It is in God's hands.
Yeah. A lot of what we do is we have to have a lot of faith in what we do.
Definitely.
I've tested that saying that says walk by faith, not by sight.
Yeah, I say that all the time when I'm driving to San Francisco in the fog and I can't see.
I asked God recently. I said, "No, God," I said, "I am not bringing this into 2025. I need you to show me why." Yeah. Why this person is no longer in my life. And then all of a sudden, boom, showed me. I was like, oh.
Yeah. It'd be quick. He'd be quick with it.
Thank you. Yes. I was like, oh, wow. You definitely showed me the true colors.
And just like be okay with it.
I was like, I didn't know I was dating an alien. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, whew. But I got to laugh about it now.
Yeah, you have to.
I have to move on, let go, and just learn my lessons.
Yeah.
And just know that, again, surround myself with great people.
Definitely. I always feel like the right people will like be around you. So
that's right.
I tend not to like really be tripping off of like much, because I'm just like, I want the right people to be around me. So if this situation is not working out, then it's okay.
Yeah.
So
life goes on.
Life goes on.
And then you got a beautiful business to keep nurturing.
Exactly.
That business doesn't talk back to you, doesn't give you attitude. It just
exactly
what you pour into it.
Yeah. So it's true.
What would be something that you'd want to share with community or with people out there that are striving to be someone, be like you, or just words of inspiration, words of motivation? Just what would be some of that?
I think that it is one thing I want to tell people is that it's okay to say I don't know or to like ask for help. And that you could do anything. I think that a lot of times like fear holds us back. That I hear a lot like my mom doesn't support me, like my family doesn't believe in me. And what I've learned as I've gotten older is if that is the case, a lot of the times, especially if you grew up like I did, it's not that they don't believe in your dreams. It's just that they haven't seen it. And you're their kid, so
deep right there. Like just cutting you deep right now. Yeah.
Of like if you fail, they're putting their fears on you because maybe they had a dream and they weren't able to do it for whatever the situation was.
You know what fear stands for? You heard the fear stands for false evidence appearing real.
Okay, I heard of it. I couldn't remember what it was, but I have definitely.
I like to flip it. False expectations appearing real. So when you expect and you lean on too much onto people, you're giving yourself false expectations because you can't really depend on anyone other than yourself.
100%.
Even though we have a good team, the team also is just you. Life happens.
Yeah, it does happen.
So it happens.
It's you. Like if you want to do something, you're not doing it for other people. You're really doing it for you, your dream. So I think that is always kind of like people to really know their why and to know. Like my sister says a saying from I think a book or podcast that she likes. We could do hard things. And so we try to say that in everything. And it's literally written in all of our shops, like on the wall as like a reminder to people, like you could do hard things, because you can, once you just get out of your way, once you just put your mind to it. So, yeah.
Those are some nuggets right there, man. I'm on. Is that how we ended the show? I'm like,
thank you.
We can do hard things.
We could do hard things.
Oof.
Yeah.
People want to find you. How do they find you?
So a few ways. You can come visit me in the shop. I'm always at the downtown shop.
All right.
So we do have a location in Cupertino in San Francisco at MLK Library. And then on social media, you can follow us at Nirvana Soul Coffee. That's it. Nirvana Soul Coffee.
On social media too.
On social media, that's it.
Man, guys, I don't know. This coffee's been bomb though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to walk down to the shop and go get me another refill and give me a little blueberry vegan muffin. I want to thank you again for just being here.
Thanks for having me.
Your soul is beautiful.
Thank you.
Your motivation and just your drive. I can feel it as an entrepreneur to an entrepreneur. It takes special talent, and everyone's got it in them. It's just you have to find it and you have to wake it up.
Yeah.
I believe that the education system right now is it trains us for a certain way. With social media and the internet and all that, it's awakened a lot of people, and then the influencers now. I mean, obviously, as we get older and wiser, the next generation is obviously developing, just like we're developing and we've developed.
Yeah.
You'll see that the world is just continuously going to evolve. Change, like I always tell people, change is inevitable. No matter what, change is happening. And that's just part of who we are. That's part of our DNA. So get ready, because change is coming your way. and all you're doing is, like I said, you are preparing yourself and you're practicing for those next levels. I have a big dream. I want to, I tell people, and I'm open about it, I want to be in the Billionaires Club. My mindset is billionaire mind status, because I follow and I read and I see what these guys are doing and the amount of pressure that they have to go through to get to where they want to be. And I'm ready for those challenges. Yeah. We're just waiting for those zeros to catch up to me. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you.
Anyhow, so again, I want to thank you for being here today, and we're definitely here to support and make things happen for you. And congratulations!
Thank you so much.
20 stores.
20 stores
in the next 5 years.
Here you go.
There you go. Got to put the pressure. So anyhow, guys. Want to thank everybody again. Mauricio Mejia Live. We're here broadcasting downtown San Jose, heart of Silicon Valley, Studio B. We'll catch you on the next one.
Like, comment, subscribe. Mauricio Mejia Live on YouTube.